And now I'm joined by Ginsley 99, who lead the Blessed Dread against my drowned in our head-to-head campaign series. What do you have to say for yourself, laddie?
I'm not doing the pirate voice this time, no. I kind of just ruined the intro, but I just wanted to say that.
Well, yeah, I'm gonna use the old introduction then, so this one is all yours. Just do whatever.
Alright, fine, I'll do the goddamn pirate voice. Fine, if you're gonna bite my leg like that. Remember. It's not even a good pirate voice. I've listened to it myself now. I've ruined my illusion. I thought I was this great pirate, Velhart Lockyer, the dreaded, cursed, blessed dread thingy, but no, I sound really dumb.
I mean, I wasn't going to tell you that, but...
I'm gonna pretend that I sound awesome when really I need to roll my R's more, but that doesn't sound anything like a pirate. No, what the hell even is this?
I believe that's an alien, like the 70s imagination of what alien would sound like.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know what this is. This is the drowned.
No, I'm the
I'm literally drowning. That's what this sounds like.
My brain is drowning when I'm listening to you. So, Ginsley is going to start on the southern continent with the light blue area, while I'll start in the dark blue area, in the northern area.
I'm pretty sure I'm green.
You're light blue on my screen. Maybe you just have very weird monitor settings, because you're not green.
Pretty sure I'm green.
Pretty sure you're not.
Anyway, green flag and everything.
I'm just gonna press the start flag. Your flag is also blue.
No, it's a green flag with red.
No, it's a blue flag with green. Not green, red.
No, by the power of technology,
you are able to see what I'm doing on the Gameslayer's footage, and it will, of course, be likewise for me. When I end my turn, you will be able to see his footage on my end, which is glorious. So I'll celebrate this by moving my Ghost Knight to places. Yeah.
That's a bit of a delay, guys. But it's the best we could do. Well, the best Pang could do. I don't know. His computer does not work with anything.
We're doing the very best we can. I mean, we're still probably the only YouTubers whatsoever that actually tried hard enough to make it so that you can see the footage from both perspectives in a single video. Most people don't bother with trying that, and we do because we have.
Because I had an awesome idea and be like, hey, why don't we use screen sharing software at this point?
Yeah, that was your idea, but I'm the one who made it work in the end by sharing from two different ends. Now, meanwhile, I want to figure out. Right, I will need to go into the flagship expansion and see how expensive that would be. No, I will need to go on land to check how expensive it would be to actually recruit units rather than resurrect them. Doesn't matter, I won't bother waiting, I'll just go ahead and resurrect them. That's the good old usual way. Actually, I won't do so
the new team, what they call faction, that's the word, the new faction can just resurrect dead units. Really fast. Pretty broken.
It's pretty fun. I'm just swimming closer to the enemy's area, and now I have more units that I can resurrect. Now these, some people are gunning them up with handguns. They are very expensive when you raise them from, well, the undeath. But, or rather to the undeath, I suppose. But they're also really strong, unlike the regular gunning mob.
Yeah, these guys are genuinely good infantry to have, and they're cheap as well. Only $5.50 to spawn. They have really long range, like comparable to high elf archers, which are some of the longest ranged archers in the game.
Meanwhile, I'm also going to demolish one of my buildings so I can recruit or rather construct something that will boost my growth, which is
Look at that.
Very
he doesn't
painful.
even need to spend the turn waiting. Just there we go. Doubled his army, just like that. Boom.
Yep, it's pretty
The poor
great,
AIs haven't even had a turn yet.
Indeed. Now, next up, I'll go ahead and install the heavy balance, just because pirate crew growth is very slow if you don't have that, and I'd love to have it. This doesn't mean that I will not be able to get my officers campaign ASAP, but I'd rather Wait a second, that increases my growth by the same rate, but also lowers my upkeep. Never mind, I'll start by increasing the level of my cap, because that is literally the same thing, right? I'm not being crazy. No, I am not being crazy. Yeah, heavy ballast does give minus more experience per turn, but I'd rather lower the up.
However,
So
the heavy ballast is cheaper.
It's a fair point, but at some point I would like to upgrade my cabin anyway, so I'm just gonna choose that. Now, next up, I need to choose my technology. I have 4 areas to choose from. I can go anywhere I want, any point I want. And of course, I can also go for legendary admirals, which will allow me to make more of my powerful ships, which are basically mobile cities, comparable to the Dark Elves Ark ship. So...
Not comparable, better.
So, yeah. This is why we're playing in this kind of versus mode, so that my opponent has those arc ships and I have my mobile set. The question is which upgrade I want. I should have thought about it, and I did think about it before recording this episode, but it's always a question. I think I'm gonna go with Command Cruise. I don't like the Command Cruise upgrade itself, but it does give me access to some things that are rather nice. For instance, better income from ports is something I particularly like, since the more money the better. Although there are a bunch of upgrades to your bomb power and gunpowder technology that are really powerful and important and useful. That being said, I'm just going to go instead of Command Cruise.
Yes, gunpowder is an interesting mechanic of the new faction. Whilst they have a lot of ammo, their next shots matter a lot more, do a lot more damage. So they have that initial volley wave.
Indeed. Now, wait a second, I'm going to offer payment. Wait, I have no treasury, so I want to offer payment. Can you just be non-aggressive with me? No, fine, be that way. Didn't realize I have 0 gold.
Should have gone for the heavy ballast.
Well, I mean, I can still change it, but I would rather upgrade my cabins, and I can always talk with the exiles of Nagesh later. I might also talk with the red dudes of Sildrator that stand next to me, but I would rather not sign a non-aggression pact with them, since they will be juicy targets for my conquests later down the line once I take care of the Ziggurat of Dawn and make sure that the Skegi are no more. And with that, and through the power of technology, I'll end my turn and swap the screen so that you can see Game Slayers.
Oh,
end of the screen.
Welcome to Lockhart, Fellhart, Lockhere's. That's Lockhere, Fellhart, Lockhere. Don't forget the names. Area of the map. I have Chupalatiolata, which isn't actually a capital, which is nice. And I immediately spawn right above the Southern Sentinels, who are a nice little juicy faction to eat. They're designed to be the starter faction to eat, however,
with any faction.
As all good pirates do, I'm going to start by walking 1 step backwards so that I am in my own territory. Because after I grab this nice little remnants of battle that I found, ooh, that's a good early spawn right there, that can potentially give me some good money. Sure, Arabian arms. 1,500 and heavy iron, which... yeah, I'll take it. I think that works. On my guys, maybe, or maybe it only works on these guys. One of the two. Well, they have... yeah, it seems to only work on this army. Oh, well, whatever. 1,500 gold is still really decent for the early game. But anyway, the reason why I walk backwards like 3 feet is so that I can recruit from both my local and the Black Ark to recruit 5 units at once. Now... these 5 units aren't, you know, they aren't the most important thing in the world. In fact, I'm actually going to go for a Dreadspear here to just even out my front line a little, but having 2 extra units at the start will be enough for me to just overwhelm the Southern Sentinels down here with minimal losses.
So you can have 5 extra elite units at the start, and you go ships weaker, when they also provide you battle support. I don't know what's your problem. They're amazing.
And I'm gonna start with Now, Founded on tyranny into continuous slave supply gives me some good extra starting income, but I think I'll go with battle and business to go for the naval training so that I can start with high-ranking units. And I'm gonna just end my turn.
Excellent. Now I'll tap back into my point of view, which should work immediately almost. Now, it might result with some black screen on your end. Unfortunately, there is no way around that. This is just how our software works, recording software works, and that's the only way we can make it so that you can actually watch the other player's perspective.
Without having to do editing. Because editing sucks. This is all live.
I mean, I suppose it is, but I will be doing some editing. I will be cutting most of the downtime when we wait for turns to end and for the loading screens to pass. Although now that we both have SSDs, those loading times, they shouldn't be that.
Yeah, to put that in perspective, guys, we both tried recording this like 3 times, maybe only twice, but
twice.
We were like, oh my god, these loading times, they're like 4 minutes long each, this is horrible. And then we both bought SSDs because Black Friday sales.
Indeed. Anywho, we're going to start with our very first battle, and we're going to record this battle because it's our inauguration battle.
Alright, I'm getting the hint.
Even though I'm going to most likely massively outclass my opponents, so...
yeah. Poor guys.
Well, it's their fault for starting while being at war with me. By the way, I did ask you, but you didn't answer. Is there any faction that you start already at war with?
Yes, the Southern Sentinels, who are directly below me.
No, they already are at war. Didn't notice when looking at your screen.
Yes, well, I never clicked on them, but yep, they are the faction that you're designed to be at war with at the start.
I'll just group my units and be ready for funsies.
Now, one thing the Skeggy do have is really high health units, so maybe I can still manage to get a nice little frontal assault off before I'm horribly, horribly murdered.
As his hope at any rate. Meanwhile, I will try to make sure that I can stay at a relatively good range, far away from my enemy. Now, the only difficulty I have is that my units are gunpowder units, which means that firing over my own line of troops is a little bit tricky. I'm not sure how it works exactly, but I'll try to work.
That's what the masters bid!
Now, so this is how you know you're going to lose, when you're probably just going to die to the opening volley, but we're going to try. We're going to try. We do at least have, you know, axe infantry. They're pretty powerful, I think.
Yes!
Alright, the fight has begun. We charge.
The enemy does not have a dedicated general, which means that I can just move in my unit and kill their general very, very easily, since it's not an actual lord, it's just a group of units.
Your will!
Arr!
And now my opening volley. Yeah, I don't think it's a battle you can win, laddie.
I don't know, somehow you did not do very much damage. But you can see the strength of having a large front line as Pan's army quickly comes to encircle my own. Attack from multiple angles.
Indeed.
Maybe I can sneak a unit through the back? No, really cannot.
Now I also have my hero, which I didn't include with the opening attack for some reason that is unknown to me, but I will do so.
Oh
now.
gods! Water beach ball of death or what the? Okay, no, that's summons units. Okay.
Indeed. Down the Knights of the Realm or some other knights. Which knights are they? Yeah, Knights Errant actually. which are pretty decent shock cavalry, early game shock cavalry, but I can quickly upgrade my hero to have much better shock cavalry, and I can see your line basically collapsing.
Yeah, so an army without any archers at all against an enemy army who have really high ranged archers. This is how these fights are gonna go. Look at that range.
Indeed, I also forgot to use my spells, which I'm going to fix right now.
Yeah, because that's totally important right now.
Yeah, if I didn't, then who knows what would happen? Maybe I'll just lose flat out.
Exactly, you don't want to take that risk. Now, obviously,
and there we go.
They all ran away, which is very upsetting considering that they all had a ton of health left. But, yeah. Oh well.
Now, they are also guarding the settlement, which means that they'll all die after this battle. Which is unfortunate decision by them to just...
High health, but cowards, the lot of them.
Correct.
Now,
doesn't matter.
The interesting thing about being a necromancer means that he just gained more from that fight than he lost.
Well, not necessarily. I would need to pay money to gain more from that fight than I lost.
Well, you gained a bit of money.
Suppose I did. Now, I also gained the city. I have the option to turn the city into a pirate cove, but I won't do so yet. Right now, I want to make an empire. Pirate coves, in my opinion, are something that you keep for later on when you want to assault vulnerable targets far away from your zone of influence. That's when pirate coves are most useful.
We should probably mention the alternate victory condition of the vampire pirate factions.
Oh yes, we probably should. So right now, it's a little bit different in head-to-head than it is in actual single-player campaigns. Right now, in order to, all I have to do is to have 10,000 infamy and maintain control of 30 provinces at the start of my turn. Or maybe I just need to do one of those things. Honestly, I have no idea. At any rate, I don't need to kill no Leviathan or anything like I would in single player, which is a little bit disappointing, but oh well. Anyway, I think I've done almost everything. I can make something, however, in my starting city, and I certainly will. And that thing will most likely be, let's see, I can either go for Bristol Carter's Workshop, which is very tempting because that would give me marble, which I could then trade. But 3 news gives me growth, and the growth will let this city prosper faster. And I already have port, which gives me a good amount of starting income. So once I get that, I can just go ahead and talk with the Exiles of Nagash again, because I really want them to be on my side. They'll be wonderful companions in my future war against the Dark Elves. So let's start building a wonderful relationship between the two of us. I'm going to pay for the non-aggression pact, and they will love it. Now, is there anybody else I could potentially pact with? There's the plunder, which I don't know what they are or where they are. Do they want to be at peace with me, or rather non-aggressive with me? Of course they don't. They're Skaven. I don't know what I expect. Oh.
They're spineless, though.
I don't know what's their deal.
Clearly not powerful enough.
Maybe. Let's see, I don't care about Blue Apples. The Laxtan, I don't know where they are. Let's see. Laxtan are far away from me, it looks like. I don't think there are any empires nearby that I really fear I want to have a non-aggression pact with, unless, except for the one I already have a non-aggression pact with. And as for the Silator, they should be relatively easy to conquer, since I already grew my army to ridiculous size. So we'll see. Oh, that's where the Skaven are. That's where Backback is. I missed this guy. So the Mirror Pool of Tepok notes to south is occupied by Skaven. That's good to know. I thought those are just regular ruins, but of course Skaven settlements look like ruins to everybody else. And with that said, I end my turn.
Alright, my turn then. So, as you can see, there's a bunch of ruins here. Those are also owned by the Skaven, and there's more in here that are owned by the Skaven. The Skaven really like this place. But, like how Pand attacked his first settlement, I am going to attack my own first settlement. Now, can I just barely get inside the settlement inside the circle. Yes, I can. This means it can provide artillery fire on that settlement. So let's go. A charge!
Sacrifice them to Mathland!
Do you want to engage in this battle, Pan?
Well, yes, we're going to showcase the power of the Black Ark. I'm going to choose play as the AI to make the AI suffer a little bit less in this battle against the tyrant. And swap the screen out.
To be fair...
Because last time I forgot to do so.
Yeah, I suggest you do that. Now, to be fair, the auto-resolve heavily stacked this in my favor, but the reality is a lot closer than you might think. Because the game really doesn't like to take into account allied reinforcements very much. And that army is terrible, but the reinforcements make it roughly comparable in size to my own.
Let's not go that far. I think it's still half the size of your army. Pretty certain it is, in fact.
Alright, let's start grouping things together here. Generally, you want your main line to be all in one massive group so that you can do a proper charge. Well, not necessarily a charge, but a proper... how do I say it? A proper attack move. There we go. Nailed it.
Nailed it indeed.
Now, the Blackhawk Corsairs unfortunately have this issue where there's not actually quite as many of them as there are in most other armies. But now I lock the group. And there we go. Now they'll move as one large unit stack.
Since I'm defending the settlement, I get to see exactly how Gensler deploys, and I can react to that. Unfortunately, because how powerful my army is, there isn't a whole lot I can do. I'll try to somewhat even the odds, but this will be a very one-sided battle, make no mistake.
Alright, well, I really don't care how you deploy.
No, you have no reason to.
So wide open terrain, I can just move my units, and I have the army advantage. Now notice how he has decided to move his archers to one side and those guys to the other. That's fine. I'm okay with this. I'm just going to have these guys engage the main force whilst these guys move forwards to engage the archers. Because they should win the archer fight. Keyword being should. In fact, I'll break this guy off. He can also enjoy the fight. Because he's not got shields. Well, whatever.
Well, why don't you demonstrate how powerful the arcs really are? I think people would.
Now, he just needs to kind of grab that hill so that the other guys don't.
We are ready.
Honestly, I can kind of just move the flyer in here as well, because he can. And the arrows start firing. And poor Bleak Swords, you know?
Well, they're taking a surprising amount of damage, even though they do have shields. Okay.
Well, they don't have shields, that was the problem.
Oh, I see. Well, that is a problem indeed.
But he can make them all run away! Ha ha ha! They all
Why
run.
are you not using your arc power? I'm still not sure about it.
Well, there's no need to ruin the suspense. Let's be patient with it, you know? I only have 9 uses.
Corsairs, by your command, end them!
Alright, let's lock all their army up with all of my army.
And now he's going to miss with his Black Ark, except for this area, and I cannot really untime my units fast enough.
Begin
So,
the firing! Ha Boom!
Corsair handbows, on to slaughter.
I see where your hero is.
I'd rather you did it. I'd rather you did it.
Now, the front line of his is clearly going to collapse very easily due to the sheer archer fire. Just very, very easily chopping those things to pieces, whilst my hero engages his, and my hero is easily going to win.
The hero did miss mine.
Look, missing is fine. Now, my bleak swords aren't doing so well, but now they've engaged in melee, maybe they do better? Yeah, no, they're just gonna run. Just run.
As long as I at least kill one of his units, I'll be satisfied.
Oh, he's going to... He's going to encircle me! No!
This is madness.
Well,
he is missing with his arc. Well, the first shot anyway.
it's really hard to hit a moving target in this game.
Oh, I stopped right as you fired. That was my bad. But I think I will be able to kill your bleak souls at the very least, so...
You will. I did not micro them very well. Oh well. It's
yes.
fine.
And if this was auto-resolved, the AI would not have killed a single stack of units. So this is why playing as a human player offers massive advantage versus playing as AI. That being said, in the interests of making things not dull and take forever, we are going to auto-battle whenever somebody has over 75% advantage over the AI. And your player's price stands on just as
The bleak swords live!
I don't think they will survive. They have 7 models left.
I'm gonna press the M battle button.
Say what?
I'm just gonna press the M battle button.
I did.
They have 7 alive. That's enough.
Oh, it says they have... Oh no, they killed 6, right?
Look at that green bar. It still exists.
Well, first of all, it's red for me, and secondly, it's mostly black. I see a tiny sliver of red. I think they might be destroyed after this. If they made a mistake and
I really did not use my hero. That was kind of a mistake. So, his hero is a wizard who can summon a load of cool stuff. My guy is just a guy with a sword.
Incorrect. My guy was also just a guy with a sword.
No, I'm not talking about this guy. I'm talking about your hero.
Oh, you mean my campaign hero? Yes.
That's 7. I see 7 bleak swords left.
I didn't kill enough. I thought I did, but I didn't.
Now, I'm going to loot and occupy. The conquest penalty is a problem, but I need slaves. This guy's a slaver. So, yeah. Be warned. If you... I don't know. Maybe he was a slave at one point. I'm sorry. Now that I have gained control of this place, I now have 2 conscription halls. I'm going to demolish this one. Why am I demolishing this one? Because why else would a pirate settle here as his starting location if there wasn't gold? This place can create a gold mine, which is fantastic for early game income. I don't have one though, so I need a slot. And destroying this building will give me a slot for some gold.
Look here,
Indeed, that is a mistake against that already made twice when we were trying to call this previous. And it resulted in him having some relatively annoying financial difficulties, so he learned the boy learns. Will he be able to beat
learn, adapt, grow. That is the pirate code, I think. I don't think it actually has anything to do with
I'm more power than you are still.
Now, I got Root Marcher because Root Marcher is incredibly important. It gives you 10% extra movement. Very important.
Aboard the Tower of Blessed Dread.
You know what we need? We need Ram. It's a shame I don't have Ram. This would be perfect for this campaign.
Alright, I'm not going to even bother looking at diplomacy. Let's just go.
Maybe I would have even been able to dish out some sick pirate voice if I had Ram. Because honestly, I have no idea how pirates talk. I never met one in real life. Maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, I've heard that the pirates in real life... I don't know, what type of pirates are we talking here? Online piracy or Somalia piracy?
I was thinking Somalia piracy.
Yeah, let's not meet them. Let's not meet them.
Yeah, probably best not. Well, it is my turn. And as such, I will move my hero around, and I'll try to avoid all the scavenging that lack in these mirror pools and other areas of interest. Cigarette of Dawn is going to rebel relatively quickly, but I'll be ready for when it does, and I'll happily murder all those who oppose my one rightful rule. I'd also love to destroy the enemy province capital, which I could do. I could also raise some dead, but honestly my army seems to be strong enough to destroy anything the enemy has. Let's see what their holdout actually contains, and it seems like it has very few units. I think I can just go ahead and move in on them as quickly as possible.
The Skeggy are designed to die.
Which is still relatively slow, unfortunately. I could of course force mount, but I am afraid that if I were to do that, then maybe I would be caught off guard by some of my enemies. I'd rather not take the chance and just end my turn super quick. Over to you, Game Slab. Break.
Alright, so now that Chipoloti has a slot, I can start on the gold mine. Look at that, 600 income! 600! It takes 3 turns to build, but 600, considering I have 290 on this? Look at that, I have 207 income.
Yeah, that's triple the amount I get from my smuggler's landing. It's a little bit upsetting, but what can you do?
Alright, now, the Sentinel of Time, it's not
By
got
the
that...
way,
It's not got that many units in. I would have expected perhaps some Skaven to have attacked it by now, but let's be honest, that place is incredibly poorly defended, so let's just take it.
by the way, I was meaning to ask you, what is the faction difficulty of the Fellhunt?
I'm gonna auto this. There's like no chance.
Yes, auto. I can see that. Yeah, but what is your faction difficulty? I'm curious.
Medium.
Yeah, okay. I'll expect it to be easy with it starting gold mine.
The problem is, I kinda need slaves. Still. Potion of healing, awesome. So, those guys are called those guys are Skaven, owned by Lord Skrolk. Now, the reason why this isn't an easy, yeah, this guy's really powerful. He starts off with Plague Claw catapults, and Plague Monks, and Plague Monk Sensor Bearers. And he's the guy I like.
Skaven slaves! Terrifying.
No, not just Skaven slaves. Skaven slaves with slings.
Truly the most powerful unit of them all. I don't think you can handle this kind of operation.
Now, he's my favorite. He's like my favorite start in the game. When I actually like to play on the campaign, so you know, he's really, really powerful, and his Plague Claw catapults could potentially just obliterate my entire army, despite the fact that my entire army is 1,000,000 times bigger than his. I could probably still win that fight, actually, but it would not be an easy fight.
At any rate.
Now,
My side, unfortunately, does not give me as much gold income, but when it comes to easy targets, we both have plenty of those, as it turns out.
Well, in fact, I would argue you have the better targets. Chipotoli is a fantastic start. Don't get me wrong, but the Fortress of the Goddamn Dusk here. They are one faction, High Elf army, and they just do nothing but defend themselves. Very, very, very heavily.
But it's just one region, I'm sure you'll be fine.
It's one region, and they build defense towers, so you know, I can't really take that place. Then these two places are both ruins, I have to actually build them. And then, of course, there's always the dwarves.
Skaven in there, actually.
They're not Skaven down here, actually.
Anyway.
But anyway, I have a hero level up, so I'm just going to do that. Also, Potion of Healing. Hooray! So, I'm going to build this guy to be an army general. He's going to go down the red path and make his weak units very good. Dark Shards with upgrades are fantastic, and this guy specializes in Black Ark Corsairs, in that you get like 30% less, it costs like 30% less to keep them, to upkeep, you know? Like, the Black Ark Corsairs versus Bleak Swords are almost identical, honestly, in terms of power. Also, by the way, the Bleak Swords were in fact shielded. Good to know.
Yes, they are always shielded. That's why I was confused when you said that they are.
These things are near identical in terms of strength, but the Black Hawk Corsairs now cost a lot less to upkeep. So, yeah.
Or Black Arco says are more of a damaging unit and Bleak Stones are more of a holdout unit. That is the difference.
Yes, but of course, do I want an artisan's house, really?
Sure, just spend your money.
Yeah, screw it. I'll take an artisan's house. But the Dark Elf army is very specialized in their what they call Dark Shard army. Dark Shards are an absolutely fantastic archer force. The stats don't look very impressive, but there's 90 of them.
And they have short range.
They do have short range, but they are very tough. And that is the plan of the Dark Elves, to just walk right next to the enemy army and kill them with arrows.
Well, yeah, they're just armor piercing, which means that any armored units next to them just melt due to the archer fire. That being said, I'm a pirate king. I'm not necessarily known for armored units. I am known for a lot of guns, mostly. That's pretty much it.
Hang on.
Gunpowder and guns.
Lord Skrulk is asking for military access. Interesting.
Grant him. What's the worst that could happen when a Skaven asks you for military access?
No.
Why no?
A non-aggression pact? They'll take a non-aggression pact. And a trade agreement. I'm not sure I want to trade with these guys though. They're kind of really honestly, making friends with these guys is going to be quite good, and they really want to be friends with me right now, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know why.
Like, I can get a lot of just money out of them. They just wanted a non-aggression pact first, and then the rest of it to follow.
Just make sure you don't buy any Skaven slaves, courtesans, because that would be bad for you. I'm pretty sure that this Lord Scroll's strategy for, demolishing your army without even having to fight.
Okay, this is pretty good. I've got a non-aggression pact with these guys. I'm not quite sure why they wanted to sign it so much. I think it's because they lost Subaton somehow to the Southern Sentinels. Okay. They wanted military access, but I'm not going to give them military access because Skaven like to go into ruins, and if I go accept military access, they'll just take these 2 legions, and I would hate that. Those are mine.
Honestly, it's most like they would most likely just backstab you, enter your territory, and then kill you. Which would be hilarious. I think you should try. Anyway, meanwhile, I'm going to go ahead and invade the Skeggy capital and most likely obliterate it. Take a look at my screen. I think it's a battle we can just auto-fight, since the enemy has just basically the same force we fought before, and I still have my force, so...
Yeah, go ahead.
Very well, auto-resolve it is. The rightmost one.
Oh, I have to press something.
Yes, like I said, you have to press a button. It's the rightmost one. It says auto-resolve.
There you go. Sorry.
Excellent. Well, I apparently lost a unit of Zombie Pirate Deckhands mob, which is somewhat unexpected. But they're worthless anyway, so who cares? I'm going to occupy the capital, claim it as mine. And the game is taking a while to process this, apparently.
Oh, I need to press a button again.
Yes, you do. Thank you. So as always, it was Gameslay who was an issue delaying all our fun.
I will delay your conquests, you fiend.
Very well. Well, the Skeggy is mine. Unfortunately, right now it only has a port, which does give me a good amount of gold as well as some growth, so I'm not gonna complain about that. It also provides me with a bloated corpse garrison, which is not the worst thing ever. I think that's one of the very few niche applications of a bloated corpse. Honestly, bloated corpse are kind of underwhelming, but they are amazing if used right, which happens rarely, but when it does, it's awesome. At any rate, I can go ahead and improve something on my moving ship of Celestra Diaphan, or I can do something with the lynching post, which would increase my growth by 10%, or rather by just flat 10. And it will also help me with public order, which I suppose is not the worst, not the thing I desperately need either. So maybe it's for the best if I were to improve my own ships fast. I can go ahead and get ships towed, which would give me access to animated hulks, which are pretty bad. Their stats are, I mean, they have very little in the ways of defense, and since they are big units, they kind of need that to be useful. They have armor piercing, sure, but most of the Empire, or not Empire, Vampire Coast faction has armor piercing guns, so why would you need monstrous infantry that has armor piercing? It doesn't really make much sense. As for Blooded Corpse, the issue with that is, every time you auto-battle with a Blooded Corpse, the Blooded Corpse dies. That's just how it is.
Because what the Blooded Corpse is effectively a terrorist.
That's profiling, I'll have you know.
Sorry, my initial thought was to go to the Command and Conquer Generals unit that blows itself up. It just walks forward and dies. I could have said Baneling. I should have said Baneling. There we go.
You should have said Baneling. That would be a little bit more politically correct, I believe. Now all of the Blooded Corpses that were watching our videos will no longer watch them, and it's all your fault.
I did not realize that you called your viewers Bloated Corpses.
Alright, so there are a bunch of different upgrades I could go for. Like I said, I could go for Heavy Ballast, which I still need and want. But having access to the mortar... I mean, why would you not want to have mortars in your arm? I want to have them. I think I'm gonna go for them ASAP just because I want to destroy the enemy before they can even fire upon me. I'm that guy online. I'm sorry. I'm a horrible human being. Well, vampire being, I suppose.
I am surprised, though, that you're going for that and not the Heavy Ballast for the more growth.
I will get Heavy Ballast later on. Also, yeah, go back to in-camps. Actually, make your things. Thank you very much.
The growth is deceptive on these things because the growth... You only need 20 per to get population points, but each building costs like 4 or 5.
Yeah, change my mind. I'll go for Heavy Ballast. It's your fault.
You're welcome.
I'll also make the lynching post because I actually can afford it somehow. I'll also turn off taxes in Cigarette of Dawn so it rebels a little bit later and I have more time to conquer most.
What do you mean turn off taxes?
Actually, that did not help at all. Wait, it did. It just slowed to update and it only lowers the loss of disapproval by 4%. Not really worthwhile, so I'll just enable taxes again.
For 200.
A hero has not moved. I'm going to go ahead and move him. Sit into this city, which I'm trying to select, and I didn't have enough funds to assault the enemy garrison, which is a little bit unfortunate.
Shouldn't have built that post.
Well, I need the lynching post. Lynching is fun. I think everybody can agree about that. Now, with that in mind, I believe I'm for the most part sorted, except for the research part, which I will go for the protection rack. Income from ports plus 10%, and since ports at the very least provide me with 200 gold each, I mean, you can do the maths, right? It will stack up pretty quickly once I have
7
more ports. 7? What?
That's the maths. 7.
That's incorrect. 10% of 200 is 20.
I'm not good at this.
I mean, I think that's blatantly obvious right now to everybody who's watching this. I really would like for the clan not to gnaw my ankles, so I think I'm going to offer them some money for the non-aggression pact. Like a whole 63 of it. No, I can't do that, no.
Payment in 300s or we riot!
Apparently. Well, never mind, then I'll just move over to your turn. Enjoy, you fiend.
Alright, last turn of the video. Let's make this one a good one, shall we?
His video, not mine. Mine will be longer than that, don't worry.
I could just straight up attack Frolic now that I've signed a peace treaty, but that seems like a dick move.
Go ahead and attack. It would be hilarious. You know you won.
I'm going to start colonizing the rest of this region.
No. You know you don't want to. You're a coward.
Meanwhile, the Admiral... My admiral needs to find more things to take. Just as free loot on the seas. That looks like some free loot to me. So, the Admiral Balthazar is gonna go ahead and take this sea corpse over here. Maybe it's a bloated corpse. Who knows?
I think most sea corpses are bloated by default.
Maybe, but this is not one of those types of people-like corpses. These are fish corpses.
Are you suggesting that there is a difference between the fish and the people? What are race?
Have you tried raising fish?
I think that's literally what the entire campaign of the Vampire Coast is all about.
That's fair. But to be fair, it's a special fish.
It is a fish, though.
Alright, diplomacy-wise, is there just anyone I can do stuff with? Pestilence, they're spineless, they like to be really friendly with me. I'm okay with a defensive alliance. They want 100 gold for a defensive alliance.
Other than 2,000.
Nah, I'll accept the 100 here. If I can make very good friends with Lord Skrulk here, then he will be able to defend this territory here and be like a buffer for the, a little bit of a buffer for the dwarves that live in the mountains. And more importantly, since my faction is all about the Black Orcs and the Black Orc Armadas, so I kinda only care about coastal regions. So the less inland I go, the better. Now, as for Clan Spittle, they live up here. They live next to Clan Pestilence. They could be useful to ally with, but they also have the Altar of the Horned Rat, which I want to just conquer. Because it's a ritual resource site. Whilst Pan has to be like 10,000 infamy or control 30 provinces, I have to do this whole thing where I summon rituals and actually, you know, play the game. So...
Yeah, I actually... That being said, Creative Assembly, why you not let me play the game? I'd love to do that. That would be more fun.
Yeah, we would have really liked to both play as Vampire Coast factions, but you're not allowed to do that.
Yeah, which is actually really kind of up. Like,
yeah.
Why?
I'm pretty sure the Vampire factions actually hate each other, you know?
Yeah, they do. Besides, it's kind of strange considering, you know, Creative Assembly's policy of Tomb Kings. Because if you want to play the Tomb Kings campaign in head-to-head series, the only other option for the other player is to also play as Tomb Kings. He cannot play as anybody else, which is weird. It's a complete opposite of this one. I feel like they cannot reach a consensus in what they want to do. That being said, you can cheat the system. So if you want to play as Tomb Kings versus, let's say, Vampire Lords, then all you have to do is quite simply select the Tomb Kings, and it will disallow the other player to change factions. But if that player pre-selects the faction he wants to play as, then you can just select the start campaign option, and you'll be able to play as Tomb Kings versus whatever you want.
Now, we're not certain if that's true. It works. It might be specifically that it worked for us because I don't own the Tomb Kings DLC, so it's literally impossible for me to be a Tomb Kings player.
Potentially, yes.
But maybe that's the good exploit.
Maybe. Well, you did say you want to end your video right now, is that correct?
Yeah, this has gone on pretty well.
Very well. Well, I'm not sure if I'll end my video here or not. If I will not end it here, then I'll just cut this bit out, but if I will, then it will be a useful ending point. So, ladies and gentlemen, it was Punkle and Advisor, joined here by Guessline999.
AKA No Brainer. Let's go through the names.
Alright, and I'm also known as Panchasso, or the Mighty Mix Spam, or the one who's going to win this campaign.
And the Mighty Phoenix Spammer.
Oh, that was a thing.
And Mighty Mix Spammer.
Yeah, I already mentioned that. At some point I was also... No, that's it, I think.
You're also pancakes to me.
Thank you. Appreciate it. At any rate, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you online.